Jeff Yalden. You blame it on Don't blame it on the mirror.
So I guess, Jeff, the purpose of this interview, I guess, off the bat, what are your impressions of the school and community and all that?
Yeah, I said to Danny coming up, I love it. The kids have been very kind, fun. I don't think I've laughed, smiled. I don't think I've had so much fun in a school. I don't even know if I can tell you when the last time. Got to play spoons with the kids. We got to have some serious conversations. You kids have been very inviting. I've had a really great day. I will tell you, I think it's interesting. We asked the question to administration about vaping, and I think administration was unaware, but the kids told the truth. And I think it's pretty common most everywhere I go, but I think it's something that our parents need to know. I think our administration really needs to pay attention to. I've had a great day. Really, really like your kids, and I feel like I got to be me. Yeah. And I hope I wasn't too inappropriate. We have small chances of connecting with the kids. And I've said it 100 times, we plant seeds. But I'll tell you, when they know you're real, you'll connect with them. And I just think if we had the time, it's a great day. Mm-hmm. Very impressed.
So then, if we're looking at our community, and we talk about the pieces of the community, the students, teachers, and parents, what can each of those groups do, I guess, to help make sure that our kids, or that each other, I guess that our community works better together and kind of opening up and talking about mental health issues and things like that?
So to answer your question, kids, teachers, and parents, I think number one, we have to work together. I don't think it's anymore that, you remember when we were growing up, it was always the school and the parents, and then it was the child. It seems like today it's the child and the parent against the school. Like, what did you do to provoke my child? Well, wait a second. We're trying to work this together. Why is it that families think that they're the victim and the school is against them? The school wants to fail my child. I've never met a teacher that wakes up, I get to fail kids today. I think from the parent and the teacher's perspective, we need to pull back some of the power and not be so afraid. But I think it's also important, and I've said this a couple times today, we have to, as adults, understand that, listen, where are our kids coming from? And so if we can connect with that before we expect them to understand where we're coming from, then it might be easier for them to start to be a little bit more respectful. Hey, I want to understand where you're coming from, but then will you listen to where I'm coming? I think it's listening. I think it's communication. I think it's relationships. I think it takes a village today to raise a family. Not just a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a family. We're all in it together every day. Every day.
And so, Danny, I know you kind of started, I guess, reaching out, bringing other people in, you and Michelle, making sure we get some sort of help for our kids. Right. What did you hope would come out of Jeff out of today? Well, and while you answer that, I'm going to check our cameras too. So
yeah, I wanted an outside person to give us an honest evaluation of what we were doing, if we were doing the right things, if we were doing the wrong things. Not to condemn the wrong things we were doing, but just be honest with us and say, hey, you guys are doing this, but we think you can do this better, or I think I've seen other schools try this, and also we the stuff that we saw Jeff doing in his videos and that he was connecting with the kids, and it was amazing. This is really amazing because I thought when Jeff asked our kids, hey, how did I do today? I thought there would be nobody say much because you know how our kids can be. I've never seen our kids do that before. When Jeff was asking, how did I do? And the kids were like, best speaker we ever had. Some kids who you and I have talked about who don't even say, they're like, you were awesome. You were amazing. He didn't do anything special. I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, he just was real. Like, he just talked about real stuff. And our kids were kind of like, whoa. This is pretty cool. He's not trying to sugarcoat anything. He's not trying to skirt around the issue. He's coming right at us, and he's waiting for our response. We got to say something because he's not going away. And our kids were like, "You're the best ever. We want you to come back. Just roll it. Make sure you get him back." Blah blah blah. And it was just kids were just every class we were in today, they were just drawn to it. And that to me says we made the right choice. And now we get the parents' night tonight, so we'll see how that goes. But I'm sure
You never know who comes from the parents. I think also, you remember when we were growing up and an adult spent time with you? And when that adult left, there was a sadness like, oh man, I liked him. I liked her. I think when you come into the life of a child and you're present, I want to leave with them wishing I never left. I think that's important because, you know, some of these kids might follow me on social media. We may never, ever connect again. But long after the lights are out, the gym is vacant, the school's closed down, you hope that something remains, a seed that is planted. And we got in the conversation talking about cutting. You could see the energy shift. We were laughing, we were thinking, the kids were themselves. I'll tell you two things I think I'd love to see change in your building. I think the culture I like. There's an energy I talked about earlier. We'll keep off the camera. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I want to see the walls. I'd like to see a committee do something about our spirit that makes it more inviting. The other thing I think is important, if we're going to connect with our kids, we got to go where our kids are. Now, I talk about social media, Snapchat and Instagram, and we need to put the phone down. But remember what you even said as we set up here. With the cameras, the media, we're connecting with kids that aren't connecting in the classroom curriculum. Okay, we teach young people. We're lucky to be able to have things that connect with them. So, you probably have a school Facebook page. Okay. Do you guys have a school Instagram page?
The library does.
No.
Okay. Well, the library is like, hey, children, come on in.
Yeah.
The library is not inviting for high school kids. And we just talked about how many of you would say you're lazy? Half the kids, all the kids, raising their hands, falling out of the chairs. How many of you read? Maybe there's 4 out of all of them. Why aren't our kids in here reading? Why don't they feel comfortable to just come and sit down, pick up a book, and just kind of go? How can we make it more inviting? The other thing is, why can't we, imagine this, counseling department, we create a calendar of the year of May, mental health month, September, suicide prevention. Now, I don't want to be on the negative side, but September, February, Valentine's Day, let's pick important parts of the year. What about, imagine let's create a skit for the incoming freshmen. And so some of the students talk about how the middle school kids, they take Axe baths for a week, or brushing your teeth, and we talk about hygiene, but we do it in a funny way. And then we post on how about our school counseling Instagram page? Kids go to bed at night, and they're like roaming through, like, oh, there's my school, I got to see the video. That's so stupid. That's funny, though. Because when they're alone, they're going to watch it. And imagine we have a club, media club, so we're monitoring it, so it's safe, it's appropriate, but we make the kids be a part of it. I think that's one of the great things, and so we're posting things. I'm talking about mental health. Let's get the word out every day there. We're in control, we can post something. Now, the Facebook page, a lot of the parents, yeah, maybe, but not everyone goes to that. If you aren't going to connect with your audience, you need 3 things. You need the written, you need the spoken, and you need the visual. So the written could be the blog or the newsletter. The spoken could be the podcast or whatever. And the visual could be the cameras. And so if we focus on connecting in those three areas with the message, doesn't have to be overly complicated, but we do it like once a week or once a month, you're going to connect. What about this? So I heard announcements a little bit today. I have no idea what I heard. I just heard wah, 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 wah. What about someone that does the announcements every day? And ladies and gentlemen, remember, make it a great day, and I love you. Oh, well, Jeff, I think it's a little inappropriate. You tell kids I love them. Give it a couple of years, you remember what the kids are going to say. So, oh, what do you remember about high school? I remember our principal every day said he loved us. Little things like that. Or when we're doing, are any of our announcements on media? Do we have a television thing here?
No.
We have Trudgeon who every so years often does student news.
Yeah.
And so I guess it depends.
Why every so often?
Depends on the skill and size of her class.
Yeah, it fluctuates a lot.
How hard would it be this summer to create like a set? I don't know if we can dress it up, and every day we record something. It takes 2 minutes. You get beautiful lights, cameras, and the kids watch their kids. And sometimes like, oh, someday I want to be behind that camera. Wow. How can we make our school more student-driven?
Take ownership of it.
And it's not hard. I think you have to. We all want to know what we can do to build a morale and spirit. But I think one of the things is nobody wants to take the responsibility.
I think a lot of the staff feels, at times, I think they feel overwhelmed with responsibilities. And
I know.
I think we've talked about this, feel a little burnout and a little underappreciated at times, and not really knowing what their role is anymore. And am I a babysitter? Am I an educator? Am I a caregiver? I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of that feeling right now.
So I'll ask you this.
Yeah.
What do we do as a school? Because something, God forbid something happens, and we're like, well, all right, we got to take care of our kids. Who's taking care of our staff?
Yeah, you really got to be selective in where you're putting people and who you're putting people in positions. See what I'm saying?
Can you talk on our phone?
Yeah, it's got to be a good fit. I mean, if you have somebody that's doesn't relate well to tough kids, you can't expect them. You can expect them to, I guess, to. I don't know. It's a good fit and a bad fit, and you got to find out who goes in the right space. I don't know. It's easier said than done.
And we've been asked that question:
Yeah.
who's going to take care of the staff? And then you're talking about the West Liberty principal,
Yeah.
who said the staff even still struggles with it.
So my point simply is, what are we doing as a school to show our staff we appreciate you? Are we having staff night? Are we having a Christmas party? Are we having a family picnic? What are we doing? Staff lunches? Now, what concerns me about what you said is, well, you got to be very selective about. If you teach young people, well, I'm thinking this. In the classes and the kids that we met with today, I'm not sure if I saw at-risk leadership, I saw kids. If you're a teacher, you should be able to connect with your class. You saw, we were in the chemistry room, the teacher shared her story about looking, and she's a beautiful young lady, and she even said, it's still hard for me sometimes to be able to look in the mirror. I loved it because she was real. That's all the kids want. If we can just be real in our conversations, touch the heart, the mind's going to follow. But I think, our responsibility is not just taking care of the kids, but we got to take care of the staff. And staff is leaving education so fast. What can we do to start really validating the work that they do and how important it is? And if we have staff members that they're burnt out, you know what, I know you are. But then I'm going to say to you, what is your self-care plan that you're filling your cup? Because you can't pour from an empty pitcher, and when they are burnt out, they're not taking care of themselves. The other thing too, if we have teachers that are teaching 6 periods a day and we only have 7 periods, I don't think that's fair. I don't know, but I know a lot of schools have teachers teaching that much. That's not healthy, it's not fair, and I think we're part of the problem.
I think most people, I think most people leave their boss, not their job.
Most people what?
I think most people leave their boss, not their job. I think if there's a disconnect between administration and your staff, I don't know anybody that, if you go to work and you enjoy the people you work with and you enjoy doing what you're doing, I don't think there's a problem.
I don't think it's a job.
Yeah.
I think I've had a great time. I've had a great time hanging out with you. I could do this all day. But what did we do today? We were present. We were having fun. We made it about the kids. What you just said, there's depth to what you just said. And everybody feels it.
Oh, yeah.
So what do you do? That's the hard part. Because you're right. When you have change in administration and all of a sudden things are going great and someone comes and changes it and then it's like, oh, well, it wasn't like, I know it's hard. But nothing changes if nothing changes. And I'm wondering, are there voices that can be heard? And are there egos that are not so strong that we can say, okay, so what is in the best interest of everybody? That, I think, is adults talking. I don't know how that looks, but that's something I think counselors and department heads and school leaders are able to. We got to come to school every day knowing that we get to teach kids. I think walking through the halls, getting to see the kids, I've had an amazing day. Then it goes back to, we always say this, are the kids the problem or are the adults the problem? Most of the time it's the adults.
Now, I do have another question too,
Yeah.
that kind of goes along with some of that, because we've talked about teachers and parents, and then teachers and students, students and teachers. But what about student and parent? And to give you a background, our county is very much agricultural history. People on their hands and knees pulling weeds out of onion fields. I mean, that's where these families, most of their parents or their grandparents did that. Rough, tough community, right? You talked about it before. How do we tear down that rough and tough wall? And you can still be rough and tough, but talk to your kid about things. How can we do that, parent and student?
I think the family unit needs to come back together. And when you have the rough and tough, I'll tell you what I see from that, there's a work ethic. We've still got good morals and values. But you have kids and technology. So you've got the work ethic, they're lazy. And if you try and come, when I was your age, don't do that. I think parents more so need to understand that this old school expectations is not the norm today. And as much as you don't like it, okay, I got to figure something out. I think our kids need to understand this is a new time, and our parents might not understand, but they have to understand too. The important thing is, I wish we could spend more time at the kitchen table getting to know each other more. I'll talk tonight. The average family in America today in a 24-hour period spends less than 30 seconds in conversation. That's 3.5 minutes a week. In the next 10 years, you'll see a 31% increase in teen suicide, drug and alcohol related fatalities. Where you got to concern yourself, Watch next time you go to the mall, you go out to dinner, you go to the food store, you'll see a child, mom, dad, mom, 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 mom. What does the parent do? Gives the child the smartphone or the iPad. Why? Because it shuts them up. We're parenting today on the front end. We're not parenting on the back end. Or no, I said that we're parenting, we're not, the front end is where we should be parenting. I said it right. The front end is where we should be parenting, but we're having to react on the back end because we're not parenting right on the front end. So this has become a convenience now, but later, you try taking the iPad away from a kid at 4 or 5 years old. It's like taking candy from a baby. So I think parents we need to parent better. We need to parent better. We need to be more involved. It takes a village to raise a family.
That's all the questions I have, Danny. Do you have anything that you just we didn't talk about or that you really wanted to see?
No, I think we covered most everything. I think it's been a great day today. I couldn't have asked for it. I mean, other than the whole lockdown situation. But
It worked out good.
Yeah, it's out of our control.
You improvise, you adapt, you overcome. The kids were great. You got to play spoons. Who won?
That's right.
That was fun. I got to laugh and have fun. I don't know when the last time I was in a school and I got to laugh. It's a good way to start I go home tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 6 days I think I'm home.
Then where do you go?
Colorado.
Where
I've had a great day.
Denver or just
No, I think I'm out by Durango. Something. I don't know.
I saw something. I'm gonna shut this camera off.
I'll look
Something
that
on
up.
the news today. They're voting this week or today on legalizing mushrooms, shrooms.
What?
In Colorado?
Telling you guys, yeah.
Here's the thing. How do we talked about this. How do we talk to kids about this isn't good, but then they're legalizing it? There's a great argument.
They're just adding stuff to the legal and I don't know.
We're in this is again, it goes back to us. We can't sugarcoat it. We have to stop worrying. Listen, I want you to be a role model and appropriate, but I also want you connecting with them at their level. And I think what really saddens me, do you know what these kids see every day in the internet? If they're not learning from influences like us that are healthy and fun and loving and caring and our intentions are pure, they're finding it elsewhere. And then we're failing them. But yet I think too many of us are like, well, you got to do it this way. And remember, they're children. You know what? I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're children. They're not naive. You look at what these kids are, look at some of the stories you shared with what some of these kids are coming from. I saw one of your kids come up to one of your principals. And the principal said to the kid, "Oh, you need lunch money? Yeah. Come on to my office." I don't think I've ever seen a student walk up to an adult and say, "I need lunch money."
We have an account in the cafeteria with about $1,100 on it for kids to get lunches that don't have money. So we try to take care of all that stuff.
So you're telling me that you have kids that come to school every day that don't even have electricity?
Yeah.
Some of them don't even have floors in their house.
Yeah. I got a mattress in my office right now. A blow-up mattress. I had a kid came to me last Thursday. He says, "Hey, Mr. Holbrook," he got in trouble. And they told me to come down to the office and talk to him. I went down and see if I could talk to him, calm him down. I said, "Well, you're not like this, no. What's going on?" He goes, "I'm not getting any sleep." "Well, why aren't you getting any sleep?" "My back hurts." "Why does your back hurts?" He kind of looked around. He said, "Because I don't have a bed." "Hey, where do you sleep on?" He said, I'm sleeping on the floor. I said, why are you sleeping on the floor? He said, because my mattress is old and it's just no good. And he said, okay. And, we talked for a while. He said, okay, fine. You want me to tell you the truth? We got fleas. We got fleas everywhere. And I got bites on me. And he goes, now you're going to call children's services. I said, I'm not going to call children's services. I said, I know your mom and dad. I know where you live. I said, I know that your mom and dad struggles with money. Why don't I want to call children's services? You just need a bed, right? Yeah, I need a bed. All right, we'll get you a bed. So I went to Walmart and I got him a mattress, the blow-up one. It's in my office. It's still in there because he came in, or I was out Friday. I had to use a personal day. He came in Monday and he said, I said, why is the mattress still in there? He goes, my mom's upset that I came to you and she said that we shouldn't have to ask for help. I said, no, you don't ask for help. I said, you should be thankful that you have friends who take care of these situations, and now we're going to take care of it. So he came up to me today when you were talking to another group of kids, and he goes, hey, can I get that mattress? I said, yeah, just come up after school today and we'll get you hooked up. So I've got it in the bag.
Because he heard that you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help, maybe.
Yeah. So, and I know the family, I've known them for years, and I'm not going to call it. No, I'm not doing that.
It takes a village to raise a child, a family.
So.
This is what you deal with. Now,
Every
here's
day.
part of the problem you have.
Yeah.
You can't walk away from your job.
I mean, he's on call 24/7. I mean, not officially, but
It's not fair. I get it, but one of the triggers for kids is when that cherished therapist adult leaves. And I'm not putting any pressure. You got to take care of you, your family, and what's best. But I think people have to understand every day your presence, your smile. How long does it take some of these kids to be able to build that relationship, to be able to come to you? It takes a while.
It takes a long time.
And then if we leave, and then we're to tell them, well, you got to find yourself. It's hard. I love what you said to me earlier today. They hired you, and they said you create the position.
Yeah.
Oh man! And look at what you did.